राम ओम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय 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 राम ओम।
it is slightly better now?
Swamiji's chair moves few inches further and closer every day. Swamiji's chair comes few inches further here every day.
Charge it on, no? Charge it.
Check. No, it's enough.
Full. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Huh? Pranam, Pranam, Pranam. When we took up an in-depth study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as you all know, we were prompted to concentrate upon such of the points that will help to transform our mind into a refinery. So that before we react to events and individuals, it should have undergone a process. We may fail, we may forget even after reading all these things. But at least let us know that we have to keep on trying. And what is to be refined? Mind. Because when we get this you see something, immediately the mind registers and brings out with its own judgment. It might be correct, it might not be correct. Based upon that, when we react, if it gives us joy and at the same time giving joy to others, then we are all happy. But when we say something, not only that we are unhappy, we become miserable, we also unknowingly make others also miserable. So, in this journey, the most important factor is the mind. In the 17th chapter, which we are going to take up, it touches upon various aspects and on this mind also. In all fields of success, fulfillment, contentment, what is needed is Shraddha. Hope Shraddha is hearing this.
Yes,
When faith is followed by a sincere attempt to connect it with the truth behind it, it becomes Shraddha. We have to keep on contemplating upon it to get the correct. Some of us used to think that, when you do it knowingly, mindfully, wholeheartedly, that is Shraddha. That's also right. But here what is meant is, in all fields for success, fulfillment and contentment, what is needed is Shraddha. When faith is followed by a sincere attempt to connect it with the truth behind it, it becomes Shraddha. When the scriptures or the masters say that God is within us, at this time we have faith in their words. But if it is not leading us with Shraddha, after some time it will get shaken. So there will be a conscious effort on our part to experience that. Today morning we read, and Papa's few words. God is within us. We do not know that. There is a veil of ignorance that is me and mine, that is preventing me from knowing Him within. So remove that veil, remove that curtain. This is what Papa said. So when this is read, instead of just closing to the next, suppose we do manan, reflection, and try to go beyond the boundaries of thoughts. We might get a fleeting experience of the reality. That is because of Shraddha. Mindfully, intelligently handling everything also can be termed as expressing Shraddha. Rituals as well as various disciplines, when simply followed without Shraddha, may not yield the desired fruits. Why should we go? We ourselves can feel it. For how many decades we have been chanting. Accepting some relative joy, we are all yet to get that absolute joy, So that means that Shraddha is lacking. Unknowingly, unwittingly, Shraddha is not, or our efforts are not backed up with Shraddha, sufficient Shraddha. Not that we don't question the words of our master, but what is it that makes me unable to experience that? Mindfully, intelligently handling everything also can be termed as expressing Shraddha. Rituals as well as various disciplines, when simply followed without Shraddha, may not yield the desired fruits. So in this context, one sloga, we may not be able to take up all, one sloga, Manaprasada Saumyatvam, Maunam Atma Vinigraha, Bhava Samshuddhir Iti Etade, Tapo Manasa Uchyate. Serenity of mind, kindliness, silence, self-control, honesty of motive. This is called the mental austerity. So when we are trying to transform our mind into a refinery, these are the things that are pointed out by Lord Krishna. Yeah. English, no?
Yes, sir.
Serenity of mind, I'll type it out. Kindliness, silence, self-control, honesty of motive. Serenity of mind, kindliness, silence, self-control, honesty of motive. It can be gained only when our relationship with the world outside is put on a healthier basis of understanding, tolerance and love. This is called mental austerity. All of us want at the end of the day a peace of mind. We would like to retire to bed with a mind which is peaceful, serene. So it boils down, we are in the 17th chapter, it boils down to this. Swami Ranganathananji says, this is called Manasam Tapas. Tapas at the mental level. How can one do tapas at the mental level? Tapas means struggling to make oneself better and better. The mind is going down. There is a depression at that time and you bring it up. One must ask oneself, why should the mind be disturbed? It must be serene. It is a constant struggle. Somebody abused me and went away. He or she may have forgotten it, but I am culturing it, I am getting depressed. All of us are doing that now. He would have forgotten, but our mind may be still burning. But I am culturing it, I am getting depressed. I go down and farther down. That should not be. I must be able to discriminate, throw the whole thing away, restore my serenity again. That struggle is called tapas. Every day we need it for our own good. That is what people must realize. Mind has a tendency to be broken at times into an unhappy, choppy state. Make it more and more serene. That action, that effort is tapas. In Manaprasada, prasada means calmness and serenity. This calmness and serenity of mind is called Manaprasada. When somebody comes to you, he or she will not feel depressed on seeing you. The moment we look at Papa's face, not only that he is blissful, he radiates bliss. For a second, all of us, feel that serenity the moment we look at him. And later on, our mind may bring so many things. But our first reaction will be, like that. So when somebody comes to you, he or she will not feel depressed on seeing you. That person will feel encouraged by seeing you because you are so serene in your being. So one fact of human society is that whatever we are can either make others unhappy or happy. That is so because we are in a society. Suppose you have somebody at home who is always apathetic, with no interest in anything, always condemning things that are going on around. That will make for tremendous unhappiness for everybody. Negativity. So we have to remember that we are interacting with other people. Let us therefore interact at a better level, at a happy level. Therefore serenity of mind is mentioned in this verse. Next is saumyatvam, kindliness, softness, the attitude of welcome towards others. One should not be crude and rough. You will find some people to be crude and rough, but why should they be so? They have not purified their minds. Therefore they are rough. Civilized behavior requires to be saumya or gentle. When somebody comes, welcome that person and speak a few kind words. This way the mind should be trained. Then comes maunam or silence. It means a thoughtful situation with the mind active in thinking. That is called maunam. It is not necessarily silence. It means to speak only when there is something worthwhile to speak. Rest of the time one can be silent. A person is silent because he or she has the great power of thinking. I have always expressed the idea that speech and thought are in inverse ratio. More thought, less speech, less thought, more speech. And so we have to train the mind. Let us talk only when there is something worthwhile to talk. Otherwise, let us be calm and quiet. That will do great good to the world. According to Shankaracharya, Manana Shakti is Maunam. Silence is thinking capacity. So occasional silence is also beautiful. We are talking a lot in society, but when we get an opportunity, let us be silent. Don't disturb the peace of the world by your talk. By His grace now, 6 or 7 sessions we were able to conduct, one full day Mavan. The second Sunday of every month, right from 8 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock, all the participants observe Mavan. Even while they are in sitting sessions, walking sessions, seva sessions, hearing session, writing session, eating session. So we are trying to train our mind. All of us are active right from morning till evening. So we normally may not give much importance because we don't have time. But now one day in a month helps us now. At the same time, it is not simply sitting. In a sitting session also some clues are given. Hearing our own mental chanting, watching our own breathing, watching our own thoughts. Just watch. Watching the power behind our sense organs. And while walking, we try to, the first walking session, we try to concentrate upon every step we make, so that the mind is getting concentrated, One step, another step, one step, another step. Mind is now trained to concentrate on one at the exclusion of another. In the sitting session also, it is trained to concentrate on one at the exclusion of another. And in seva session, only we are concentrating upon that particular work. Nobody will even, there will be eye contact also there. Many don't do that. And in writing session, mentally you repeat and then write, so that absolute concentration is there. Eating session, not consciously eating, chewing. So these are all some of the, so Mauna comes, Mauna plays an important role, that's why we remembered this. So Maunam has a remarkable value in our lives. So much energy is wasted in talking. Conserve it and make that energy available for manana, reflection, or thinking and for action. That is how tapas enables you to develop your personality energy. One should not waste the energy, one should not scatter it, one should concentrate it. Therefore, this idea of maunam comes there. That is the idea of silence. Atma vinigraha means self-control, a disciplined mind. This mind has disciplined itself. And with that mind, we are disciplining our sensory energies. For that mind is the only instrument. So first the mind should learn how to discipline itself. That struggle of self-control is tapas. When we have full self-control, then we don't need tapas, because that becomes natural to us. Because it is not natural for us now, we have to struggle for it, and the struggle is called tapas. Next comes bhava samshuddhi, which means honesty of motive, purity of resolve. The opposite of it is crookedness. Bhava is mental disposition that must be made pure. Instead of dwelling on insults or setbacks, we should discard negativity and restore inner peace. The mind tends to become restless. Cultivating serenity is an ongoing practice. A calm mind, manaprasada, uplifts others, while a disturbed one spreads distress. Our interactions influence those around us, so maintaining a positive and composed presence benefits all. Again, the same thing is brought out here. Key aspects of the mental tamas is saumyatvam. Gentleness and warmth towards others reflect a purified mind. Civilized behavior includes welcoming others with kind words. Maunam, true silence, is thoughtful restraint, speaking only when necessary. Speech and thought are inversely related. More thinking leads to less talking. Silence conserves energy, deepens reflection, strengthens inner discipline. Practicing mental tapas refines the mind, preserves the energy, enhances self-development. Before we pass on, again, another interpretation of this particular sloga. In the previous sloga, that is also very important for all of us. Vangmaya tapas. What sort of austerity I should maintain while talking? No? Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayad. Swadhyaya abhyasanam cha chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. Speech which causes no excitement, truthful, pleasant, beneficial, that the practice of the study of the Vedas are called the austerity of speech. Speech is a powerful vehicle in man, and it reflects the intellectual caliber, the mental discipline, and the physical self-control of the speaker. Speech is a powerful vehicle in man, and it reflects the intellectual caliber, the mental discipline, and the physical self-control of the speaker. Unless he is well informed at all these levels, his words will have no force, no magic about them. Again, speech is the constant activity in all, and it is the gateway through which the greatest amount of one's energies are wasted. To control and conserve this unproductive waste is a great inner wealth indeed for the seeker. This does not mean that one must enter into a self-ruining, disgusting, irritating silence. Power of speech must be made use of for integrating the personality of the seeker. There is an art of using this power in the right way, beneficial to the aspirant as well as to others. This technique of employing speech in a most profitable way is being indicated here in this stanza. The idea gathered in the previous stanza is more and more deepened by the clearer suggestions contained in the stanza now under discussion. The tapas is not a diabolic act of breaking or losing oneself, but it is a benevolent scheme for remaking and rediscovering oneself. Speech that causes no shock. The words spoken must be such that they bring no disturbance to others. They should neither be irritating nor obscene. The real touchstone to know whether we are speaking the right words or not is in the reaction of the listeners as expressed so unmistakably on their faces. But generally people speak with their eyes shut, or even when they are open, they are almost always a pair of blind ones blinking. Many a miserable man has failed in his effort in life and lost all his friends and relatives merely because of the bitterness of his tongue, the harshness of his words, the stink of his indiscreet thoughts. Papa. Nice to hear, but we all forget this. Many a miserable man has failed in this effort in life and lost all his friends and relatives merely because of the bitterness of his tongue, harshness of his words, stink of his indiscreet thoughts. True, agreeable and beneficial. Satyam, Priyam, Hitam. True, agreeable, beneficial words uttered to express the truth in an agreeable style for the blessing of others constitute speech. And when properly handled and made use of, it should bless the speaker himself. In telling a lie, a lot of energy is wasted, and this waste is unavoidable if one were to take the policy of truthfulness in his expression. Words that are harmoniously bringing forth the exact shade of ideas in the intellect are truthful expressions, and those that are false in the mouth, distorting deliberately the intentions and meanings of the intellect, are called falsehood. In the name of truthfulness, one can become a disagreeable creature in society. This is not allowed in a seeker. Gita accepts only that speech as truthful which is also at once agreeable. By its unsaid words, the Lord's song seems to say that when a truth is disagreeable to others, the speaker is required to maintain a discreet silence. It is not sufficient that the words in the speech should be honest and agreeable. They should also be beneficial. Speech should not be wasted. Unprofitable talking is a great drain upon man's energy. Talk only when you want to express agreeable ideas of permanent values which should be useful for the listeners. Those who are respecting these qualities in their day-to-day verbal activities can be considered as men performing austerity in speech. And coming to Manaprasada, Swami Chinmayanandaji's words, 5 noble values of life are enumerated herein, which, when lived, they in their aggregate effectively produce the tapas of the mind. Serenity of mind can be gained only when our relationship with the world outside is put on a healthier basis of understanding. Healthier basis of understanding, tolerance and love. One who is an uncontrolled sensualist can have little serenity or composure. Mind is the instrument that runs out through the sense organs into the sensual field to eke out its satisfaction. Mind runs out through sense organs to eke out its satisfaction. The driving force that sets the mind on its endless errands is the intellect ever seething with its desires. Quietude of the mind can be gained only when it is protected from both the inflow of tempting sense objects from the outer world and from the wimping desires that march out from our intellect to drive the mind out into the fields of enjoyment. In fact, a seeker who has discovered for himself a divine ideal, in the contemplation of which his mind forgets to run about, or his intellect overlooks to omit new desire, can alone hope to win the serenity of the mind, Mahaprasada. Saumyatvam, that warm feeling of affection to all, which readily rises in the heart of true devotion and love, is called kindness. And that kindly seeker who lives in this divine attitude to all things and beings around will have no chance of entertaining the feeling that he is outrageously molested by or even temporarily upset with his environment. Then comes silence. We have already noted that not speaking is not mauna. In this stanza, while enumerating the austerities of mind, Lord Krishna speaks of silence. It is neither a contradiction nor a mistake. Silence of speech must arise from the relative silence of the mind. Thus, mauna means that inward, noiseless calm which one comes to experience when corroding passions and exhausting desires are no more boiling up in one's mind. It also can mean the state of muni, implying the state of constant contemplation. Then comes self-control. The above mentioned three qualities, the serenity of composure, the constant kindness towards others, the unbroken calm silence within, are impossible unless we are able to deliberately control our inward nature. The animal in us is generally very powerful, and unless we are ever vigilant, the lower nature in us may upset our inward balance and equanimity. Self-control is not possible unless the motive in us are pure and serene. Without any definite goal in life, without planning, we are on our onward march toward the ideal, apt to fall a victim to the various temptations en route and come to walk and exhaust ourselves in the bylanes of life. To stick on constantly on the grand road to success is to assure to ourselves a happy pilgrimage to truth. The urge in us that motivates all our mental activity must be inspiring and divine, or else the chances are that we will be undermining our own perfections, ruining our own chances of making life a great success. So these are all something about the mind, and the speech. Very, very important for all of us, not only in our day-to-day dealing. We may fail, we may forget. Just because we hear this, we may not be able to. But constant hammering, constant reflection. One more thing. Probably when we go back to our life so far lived, there may be many occasions when we might have come in contact with people who possesses this serenity. How coolly and calmly they handle the situation, without making much noise, without making a fuss. So that we would have seen, we would have appreciated and kept quiet. Now it's an opportunity for us to recollect and see in retrospect. That is also a part of our sadhana. Because it is possible for a person like you I was remembering one example. In one family, when the parents were struggling to make both ends meet, one of their sons, immediately after the matriculation, was committed to give a help to the parents. At that time, God blessed him with an appointment order. In a good. So when he, with all his enthusiasm, rushed to the parents, father, who was struggling to make both ends meet, and told him about this appointment, the father said, "You are too young. If you get into the employment now, your future will get strangled. Doesn't matter, in a couple of years, everything will be all right. By next year, we will try to put you in a college." Think about the Manaprasadam, no? Normally, if he is only concerned about how to make both ends meet, then he would have said, go earn, send some money, But in this case, He did not say that. He was reluctant to give him the permission. Otherwise, you may, very nice you got. But there again, the quality, care and concern for others was dominant. So that is why he was able to keep up that serenity. Think. So such incidents, either we have experienced or seen or heard, or somebody, when we go through this, it will suddenly come to us. When we are reliving those moments, it's a great, great practice for us. Because your mind is now being taught that it is not a theory, it is not an intellectual exercise, it is something practical. There are umpteen number of such examples. So examples is the only way. Anecdotes, the living examples, living anecdotes, that is the only way to get ourselves more and more stabilized in those values. And this is all part of our refinement process. All of us have been blessed with so many types of experience. Family level, professional level, social level. The serenity, calmness, motive, the motive is it, no? Bhava samshuddhi. That bhava samshuddhi, when it is expressed probably not in a gentle tone, even then you will not feel offended. Because you are clear about his bhava shuddhi. Many, many such incidents well up in our mind. And so along with that, the purity of food, speech, austerity shape the quality of our spiritual progress. Ultimately, when all thoughts, words and deeds are handled with Shraddha, the mind automatically gets refined. Simran, a fitness trainer, believed that a healthy body was essential for a successful life. However, she soon realized that true health encompassed not just physical wellness, but also mental and spiritual well-being. She started practicing moderation in all aspects of life, eating, exercise, rest, while also focusing on mental discipline and devotion. This holistic approach to health brought her more balance and fulfillment in her life. So these are all 100% needed, not only for our healthy, productive life outside, but also it is needed for our inner peace. 17th chapter exhaustively deals. We have not only touched one small portion, because we are now concentrating on how to make the mind a refinery. So we have culled out only that portion and try to think about it more intensely. Because even this chapter it has got 28 slokas. austerity in body, mind and speech, sattvic in food, yajna, dana, tapas. Without Shraddha, when austerity is performed, it is called asat. Vinobaji also tries to concentrate upon yajna, dana, tapas aspect. The other day we were sharing, but birth. His interpretation is very, very, very practical. We are all taking so much from the nature. What is it that we give back? That is called yajna. We have earned a lot of wealth. What is it that we give back to the society? That is called dana. We have squeezed so many potentialities in our body. What is it that we have given for the replenishment of that exhausted energy? This is called tapas. When you produce even a handful of rice or vegetables, it is a yajna. Because you are giving to the society, something in solid form. You may not know the person who is going to use it. Just like we don't know the author of one who has now made this, the first concept, and later on how many people have put in their efforts to come to this stage. We don't know. But we are using it, enjoying it, Similarly, when I produce something, it will also be enjoyed by people whom I don't know. Whether it is a consumer product or an industrial product, anything that we do. And the next one comes, in the profession, logistics. To move from one place to another. Otherwise, I produce, it will be there only, If it has to reach out to another segment, the needy segment, it has to travel. So like that, when I start thinking, this is what I can do. This is called yajna. And dana is whatever we do, we don't appropriate only to ourselves. Because so many factors have contributed for our earning. Directly or indirectly, many have contributed. I had shared this, but for the sake of those who are hearing it for the first time, about a couple of, I think it must have been in early 2000, when we went to Ahmedabad, we were received by a person. He took us in his vehicle to the host house, and at the time of leaving, he said, that was in the morning, I will come back at 10 o'clock, please be ready, I want to take you out. And I said, okay, very loving, very dedicated, okay. He said, okay. So exactly at 9:30, 9:45, he came and we were going. Then he introduced himself. I am an ENT doctor. I have served the government department for 30 to 35 years. I have earned a lot. One day after retirement, I started deeply thinking, what am I going to do with the earnings? Suddenly, intuitively, he heard, you have got it from the society, give back to the society in some form. So being an ENT doctor, he said, one idea struck to us, that we will set up school for the hearing impaired children. It is the toughest challenge. Many of you might know that teacher-student ratio is 1:1. For one child, there should be one teacher. Hands off to their patients. When we discussed with the teacher, we were taken to such a center. when we were discussing with the teachers, they said, to be honest, we have to repeat 1,000 times a word. And the child will be watching our lip. And the child gets the clue of this through our movement. Water, 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 water. Like that, you have to keep on. What a dedication it should be. So this person said, when I was thinking about this, we have to pay them sufficiently because nobody else can do this. Everybody will lose their patience. So this doctor set up such institution. 20 or 30 children were there, and there were 20 or 30 teachers were there, and it was a sight to be seen. So when we are discussing dana, whatever the society has given, I have to part with it. That is why Manu Maharshi thought of he brought the word income tax. When the society is facilitating you to earn, a part of it also goes back to the machinery which runs the whole, which takes care of the whole country. So, yajna dana. When we work throughout the day, with all the, not only physical stress, mental, intellectual, the challenges, the duty, the commitment, all these things, that is why, I don't know, when it was introduced in other countries, in India, sometime during late 60s, leave travel facility was introduced. Every employee should go on leave for 10 days, 15 days, and the expenses will be borne by the company. Even in our coffee estate where we were managing, there also we give, but they said we don't want to go. We pay them money, that's all, but don't come for the work. Because you need some break. Routine thinking, routine talking, routine involving, routine challenges, at least a few days. So this is called tapas. So yajna, dana and tapas. That is also highlighted in this 17th chapter. Because then you come back fresh. Otherwise, if you are stressed too much, your output will be definitely not up to the quality, and you may not be able to raise up to the quota, or what you call target the boss fixes. So quantitatively and qualitatively, we may not be able to rise up if our body, mind, intellect is taxed beyond certain level. So for refinery, these three things are absolutely necessary. To convert the mind into a refinery, yajna, dana and tapas. Always trying to give back in the form of your service, in the form of your involvement. Always try to share whatever you have been blessed with. Always try to give a break to your body from its monotonous routine, so that you get refreshed, and a refreshed mind alone will be able to become a man. So tomorrow is we will have the last chapter, 18th chapter. It has got 72 slokas. We will not be able to touch even 4 or 5, at least 1 or 2 we will try. We are trying to take the essence of all this. We feel that the 18th chapter is the quintessence of the entire 17 chapters. in the sense that what should be the take home, what should be the take home message of this attempt to go through 18 chapters to make an effort to convert our mind into a refinery so that all our thoughts, words and deeds become purified, and it enables us to feel serene, at the same time peaceful, blissful, protective. So tomorrow with that mindset we will go through that, and again we repeat. This exercise should enable us to touch and kindle so many positive incidents that we have come across, and even the so-called labeled negative, how after some time we knew that it was not negative. The same.
It is now becoming overwhelming. Repeat.
Which one?
The whole thing has becoming overwhelming.
It's become overwhelming.
Huh?
It's become overwhelming.
Which one?
Everything.
Correct. It should be, because we have been given a wonderful tool called the mind. Even the body acts as propelled by the mind. In all fields of our activity, our success depends upon how the mind works. If the mind is defective, we will not be able to progress. So the whole attempt of converting our mind into a refinery, it will be a great step in leading a fulfilled life. So this is what we are trying. We have to go through it again and again. Why? Immediately after the session, we are again going back to our own fields. When we go back to our own fields, when we come across with the objects and individuals, our old mind will come out with its own sankalpas. So unless we set apart some time to assimilate, absorb, dwell on these aspects, it is difficult. So these 18 chapters with so many examples, so many words of wisdom that touches and kindles this aspect, they have to be remembered as often as possible. If it is just hearing and going, it will not help. It is not possible to remember all. But if one gets stuck in our mind, that will pave the way to connect it up with many things. This is what we felt. Because at the start we had no clue. But then Papa slowly revealed to us, hey, look here, many people have written. You have to just read out, that's all. Many people have written commentaries from different angles. As a part of sadhana, why don't you look at it as a part of your mission, as a part of refining your mind, refining your thoughts, so that whatever that comes out of you in the form of thoughts, words and deeds, it will be hitakaram, it will be beneficial for the rest of the creation, co-creations. So it is directly linked to our family life, professional life, social life, retired life. So this has to be hammered. so that the exercise does not become a superficial exercise. It should not stay at the superficial level. It should sink within. At least 1 or 2 or 3, That is enough. Before we...
This is the most beautiful and most practical application of this interpretation, Swami,
Most practical,
most practical and most...
Yeah, it is directly linked to our life. So we have to keep on fanning it, to keep it aflame. So in short, tomorrow we will also elaborate. In short, 18 chapters give us 18 points for refinement. The self is immortal, God is immortal, body is perishable. Everything comes from me and mine, If we dwell upon it, something might turn out. Stay even-minded in all situations. Remain unaffected by attraction and aversion in sense objects. Engage fully in actions while staying detached. Act without attachment or aversion. Maintain moderation in activity, food and rest. Recognize the One as the source of all creation. Remembering Him at life's final moment, knowing death is inevitable. Everything exists in Him, yet He transcends all. See His divine presence in qualities and attributes. Recognize His manifestation in life's expression. Understand the qualities of a true devotee. Distinguish between the body and the knower of the body. Realize the 3 gunas that bind the spirit to the body. Contemplate the perishable, the imperishable, and the transcendent. Focus on uplifting forces, guard against those that pull us down. Cultivate inner silence for discipline. Surrender completely, dissolve the ego, and realizing oneness with Him. Out of this, suppose we concentrate on one. Enough. That will pave the way. Whatever that aligns with our taste, temperament, aptitude, inclination, priorities, preferences, we will try to catch it. All the 18 also may not be able to do it. One that sets the mind on a process of refining. That is what is needed. So kindly think about all and more about it tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram. Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram. Jai Ram. Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Pranam, pranam. Okay.